ahead and get started with our driver media availability here at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Looking forward to a great weekend of racing here. We'll go ahead and kick it off with Danica Patrick, driver of the number 7 GoDaddy.com Chevrolet. Danica, haven't had a lot going on this week, it seems. You've been a little bored. Talk a little bit. She's giving me this blank stare.
You need to lay a little more sarcasm into your voice if you want me to believe it.
Talk a little bit, we've got a couple of things we wanted to get you to talk about this morning. Taking Katie Couric around at Indy earlier this week, if you want to talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, we were at Indy. We were shooting some stuff for her new show, Katie, and then we also shot as well for some stuff for Indianapolis for the race in 2 weeks. So I took her around, and yeah, we had fun. We talked. I've met her a couple of times, but it was only when she was on the Today Show, so it was for about 6 minutes at a time. So we got to spend a couple of hours together. So it was nice. She's a really, really nice girl. I think I say that because she's so short. Like I feel like she's my age or something. But she's really great. We did a great interview, and she had a lot of fun. So and then the next day we had the ESPY Awards in LA. So we flew Tuesday night after taking Katie around, and did the ESPYs on Wednesday, which was a lot of fun, and as always, and then came here.
Thank you for the nice transition. I had my notes for Danica this morning, and there was like 9 or 10 notes of stuff I had to get in, so thank you for that. We'll go ahead and get into our competition notes. Danica currently sits 9th in points, has been in the top 10 in standings for 8 of the season's first 15 weeks, made her series track debut here at New Hampshire in 2010, is not currently eligible for the $100,000 Dash for Cash bonus here this weekend at New Hampshire, but a finish among the top 4 series regulars tomorrow can qualify her for the next bonus race at her home track at Chicagoland Speedway. So Danica, just talk a little bit about, just from a competition standpoint, being at New Hampshire this weekend.
Well, hopefully it goes a lot better than the first time I was here a couple of years ago, and I'm sure it will to some degree. But we obviously have practice in a little bit. Yeah, I mean, I think our season is coming along as far as getting faster all the time, and working on things throughout the year, like qualifying and restarts and things like that. I mean, everything is I'm finding improvement, and it's just a matter of putting the weekend together and then catching some luck and getting some results that we've that I feel like we deserve as a team. Last weekend was a perfect example at Daytona with running up front most all night, and then getting caught up in a late race spin. So short tracks are my biggest area that I need to improve in. So I think I need to keep my expectations realistic this weekend, and just keep on improving from where I've been at on these kinds of tracks.
Okay, we'll open it up for questions for Danica. Please raise your hand. We'll get a wireless mic to you. We'll start right here with Mike.
Yeah, hi, Danica. The learning curve in stock car racing, especially running a lot of races in Nationwide and so forth, how would you say you've done with the learning curve, and where do you think you stand on it?
Well, learning curves are individual to the driver and to the person. So, I can't tell you whether or not I think it's good or bad. It's mine. So, I'm definitely getting better overall, and my pace on the weekend is getting better every weekend. And I remember hoping that I'd be in the top 20 in practice, and now I'm in the top 10 and hoping I can be top 5 or quickest. So. Practice is getting much better. Qualifying is getting much better. I think I've had much better qualifying results, which helps a lot for the race. And then I think we just need to transition from a car that's comfortable for me to a car that I deal with for a little while, so that I can be fast throughout the whole run instead of the beginning and the end of it. But I think that things are definitely improving.
Okay, we'll take our next question from Bob, then come over to Lee, and then Mike.
Bob Pocker, Sporting News. Did you have any kind of, or what were your feelings when you were back in Indianapolis? And even though it's just kind of ceremonial, taking some laps around there, and what do you think it'll be like in a couple of weeks?
It was really good to be back there. I love that place. I love being there. I love being inside of the track. I love. It was actually the first time we got ready in the pagoda, and I had done an interview, I guess, one time in there. I don't really remember what it looked like. I didn't go to the grandstand side of it where there's seats on the inside, but I did a Brian Williams interview against the glass facing inside the track. But other than that, I've never really been in them before, and they're quite nice. That was a first for me. But driving around the track, it's just, you know, one thing is always the same when I go there, and especially when I'm driving around the track, is that, you know, you always take it seriously, no matter what kind of car you're in. I always have so much respect for it, and you know, feel very focused when I'm out there.
Okay, we'll take a question from Lee, then go back to Mike.
Lee Spencer, Fox Sports. Talk a little bit about your testing schedule, what it looks like for the rest of the season, and at what point do you decide what your next step will be? Will it, you know, will you incorporate any nationwide next year, or you go straight to Cup?
Testing, Cup, nationwide, what? I don't know where you're at with that one, but let's do the testing question. We've got a test scheduled next week in the Cup car, and I think there were 2 other dates just put on my schedule, so that's good. You know, the team obviously is, we're getting ready for the last big push of the season, where I do a lot of doubleheader weekends. And I'm looking forward to that, and I'm looking forward to getting some practice and getting comfortable in the car again, and getting ready for some more tough, challenging races, as that's the schedule we created.
Go ahead, Mike.
Mike Muller, MikeMuller.net. With Lance Armstrong, the Tour de France, A.J. Allmendinger, drug testing is a real big story in July, as usual, I guess. You've got a trainer, Jillian. Everybody takes vitamin pills, I guess. I don't know, vitamin B, vitamin C, vitamin
Did you
whatever.
say I have a trainer, Jillian?
Yeah, don't you?
Oh, she's not my trainer.
Well, I mean, you work out with her or whatever it is.
No, I don't.
You don't?
She's a GoDaddy girl.
No, well, I thought the girl that does the weightlifting stuff.
Huh?
Never mind, forget about all that stuff. You've got a trainer, right? You got a personal trainer?
I do.
Okay. Getting to the question. Do you do
I just
dietary
don't want anyone to
supplements, or
write
do you
something
do
that's
any
not true.
vitamins or something like that? I
What's
mean,
that? So what are you
very
asking?
sensitive about vitamins and supplements and stuff like that?
Well, the
That's my
trainer
question.
that I have, you know, being in sports and being someone that, you know, I pay attention to how I look, you know, I always tell him everything that I want to try or take, and he advises me where to buy it. And, you know, I mean, we're talking everything like protein powder. You know, you have to be careful where you buy it from, is what he tells me. And so he knows all of those rules. He's worked in baseball. He now is director at a college in North Carolina. So he's well aware of all of those rules, and there are certain places that are where you get your supplements from if you want to take them, and certain places that you just have to be a little bit careful of.
Next question we'll take from Nate.
Nate Ryan, USA Today. A quick follow-up. What's the name of that trainer?
Bob Alejo.
Okay. I was wondering, Danica, the hit you took at Daytona, did you feel any soreness the next couple of days, and did you have a chance yet to go back and look at the video, and there was a lot of, I think, astonishment at how the steering column just went way up in the air.
Yeah,
you
I
had a
saw
chance
it.
to reassess it?
Yeah, I got a bruise on my arm. I don't know. I feel like a wimp holding it up, like I'm like, hey, I can't see that. But it's there. And that's when the steering wheel flew up. But I think that, you know, I talked to Tony Jr. on, I think, Monday after the weekend, and just about various different things. And he said that NASCAR was going to come to the shop the next day and look at the car and take photos and make sure that everything did what it was supposed to do. And from what I understand, all the systems worked accordingly, and everything is fine, and it wasn't something that they're going to have to go back and rectify or change or create differently. It was just the point of contact that it had, and also the sheer speed that it hit at. Just, you know, I think I'm going to probably sound dumb or be wrong, but I think that Tony said the clip got moved back like 10 inches or something like that. So, I mean, it was a good hit, or in his words, it was a good lick.
Okay, we'll take our next question from Lewis.
Hi, Danica, straight back. How are you finding this season? You know, following up on Lee's question, it's a long year when you're jumping back and forth. But I know you did IndyCar and Nationwide last year, but Cup and Nationwide. Now that we're in the heavy part of the year, how are you finding And do you enjoy just being in a race car all the time now?
Yeah, I really do. I really thought that, years ago, doing the full schedule would be a heck of a lot of work that I'm not sure I was ready for. But, right now I feel pretty good. I feel like I feel comfortable. I like being in the car every weekend, and I almost feel like taking a weekend off feels like a lot of time. I would say for me nowadays, the stuff that feels heavy and makes me tired is the stuff outside of the car when you have a race every single weekend, and then, you have, like the week I've had. This week wasn't too bad because, well, we had Saturday, obviously, I had to be at Daytona for the Coke 400, Coke 0400, but other than that, I had Sunday and Monday off, and then Tuesday, Wednesday was work, but there was quite a stretch there for 6 weeks where I think I only had like one day off of a week, and that doesn't mean like I go to 9 to 5 and come home at night. That means I'm on the road 6 days a week, and that gets a little tiring, but I like being in the car every weekend.
Okay, we'll take another question from the back, then come up to Mike, and then Steve.
How would you, right here, how would you describe this race here in Loudon? And, what are the challenges of it? What is exciting about this race?
I really don't know. I was here 2 years ago, and I was not stellar. And I had an accident in the first couple of laps, and the car was, bent a little bit. But, at that point, it was just good for me to get laps and runs. So I was watching Casey Kane's in-car from last year. I believe we finished second at the end of the day. So so I'm just trying to learn from that and pay attention to the line and how it changes, and just how to set up the pass as well here. But I feel like Tony Jr. has a really good grasp for how I like the car set up and what makes me comfortable and what's just doesn't work. And I know that one of the what they tried with Casey made him feel pretty loose, and it was pretty tough to get going at the beginning of a run. So for me, those are things we'll go back on, and hopefully have a strong weekend.
Okay, we'll take our final two questions, Mike and Steve.
You're going to be going up to Montreal in a couple of weeks for the race up there, I believe. Is that right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What do you think about road racing and stock cars, and especially a street, a race like that at a small track, tight track? And are you looking forward to it?
Yeah, I mean, I went to Montreal last year, and I felt relatively lost throughout practice, and the race wasn't so bad, and I think that my pace was decent. We obviously had an issue on the last lap, and the brakes went with 20 to go, but as they found that there was a small leak, and that's why they went. But Road America went a lot better, and I find myself feeling very at ease with going to a road course, and because I've done so much of it. And I feel like the racing in stock cars is really, I feel like it's exciting in a stock car because they don't do, the cars performance-wise aren't, they're not an Indy car. They need a lot more distance to stop. They take a while to get around the corner. You got to be careful putting power down. They're not as fast. So, when you lengthen especially brake zones up, it allows real opportunities for passing. And that's what fans want to see. And that's what I want to do, too. So, we had a strong weekend. Obviously, we didn't get the result that we should have due to the last lap, but we ran top 5 and grabbed the lead even for a little bit. So I'm looking forward to going back to Montreal and feeling more comfortable in the car, and also have driven that track. It's definitely a challenging track in a stock car. Those chicanes, well, stock cars just don't go through those chicanes like an Indy car does or like an open wheel car does. I only raced Atlantic, not Indy car there. So, but nevertheless, it was a good race. And I remember at the very end, I know I'm getting long-winded right now, but I remember at the very end when, after I'd lost the brakes, I thought, shoot, I must be a lap or two down. I've been sitting in the pits forever while they bled the brakes. And Tony told me that there was that I was still in the lead lap, and I was like, well, let's get it on. So I started in the back, wherever I was, 25th, 30th or something, and I think I feel like I passed for like 15 cars in the first couple laps. So that was fun. That's fun racing.
Go ahead, Steve.
Yeah, my question was about Watkins Glen. I mean, have you seen the place before, and what do you do to prep for that race?
I've been to Watkins Glen quite a few times.
Okay.
I went there in IndyCar. Did we go last year? You'd know this answer probably, Kurt. Couple years now. But we raced the long course, so I'm ready if we go long course racing. If not, coming around after the bus stop and turn right, I just gotta go straight instead of going down the hill to the left. So I think I can handle that.
could be a problem.
We'll see.
All right, Danica, thank you very much for your time today,
All right,
and good luck this
thanks, Steve.
weekend.
Thank you.